All right, people, we are live and we are going to ask the question, were we too heavy-handed in responding to Digital Foundry? Let's get into it.
I'm not sorry. Stay sick cause I follow my gut. They say I was pushing my luck. I'ma push me a matte all black truck. Oh, I'm not sorry.
All right, what's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? It is your boy MM2K back again with another special presentation of the Stadia Dosage. I told y'all I wasn't going to do anything this week, and I lied. Thank you, Digital Foundry. With that being said, we know the ongoing discussion that we've been having since yesterday. We've done several podcasts. We've been active on Twitter. But I have a special guest here. I have my good friend, and I'm going to bring him in right now, my good friend Chase from Stadia Talk. How you doing, Chase?
Trying to have an awesome Tuesday morning, man.
I got you. I told you, man. Some of the stuff that I'm seeing made me take a sip this morning. A little too early. With that being said, okay, so Chase doesn't have much time with us, and I want to give him the floor right now to go over the gambit of everything that he's concerned with in regards to how this discussion is going. So, Chase, here goes the floor.
No, I mean we were talking off the air this morning. I'm gonna say some things that might be very uncomfortable this morning, but I'm going to put some very honest caveats on them. And I want to be very respectful when I say what I'm about to say. And I want everyone to understand what I'm about to say is from a place of being very honest and from a place of love. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm saying that purposely because what I'm about to say, if I just said it, some folks may take it out of context. Everyone in our community deserves a voice. Everyone deserves an opportunity at the table to have an opinion, to talk about things, and that is one of the hallmarks of what we do in this community. But I have to say that there has been conversation that has been flowing around in the past, 6 to 7 hours today, that has presented that what has been talked about is just folks trying to bolster their own opinions, and that's not it at all. Again, I want to paint a very clear narrative here. We're not here trying to prop ourselves up. We're not here to try to prop up our opinions. That's got nothing to do with this. This is a much bigger issue, folks. And we talked about this last night about being in silos. And some of the things that have been said is that if you enjoy the games, just go play the games. Well, that's all well and good if the fire is around your house, if you will, and your house is about to be burned down. What I mean by that is Stadia is not dying, right? Mm-hmm. It's not dying. It's not dead. But if this platform doesn't get, as far as for general consumers out there, an opportunity to get a breakdown of what this platform truly provides in a clear and concise manner, okay, and in a way that is fair and balanced, and I'll touch on this in a second, then you're going to have the potential there where folks are going to say, this isn't for me, based off of potentially information that has never been presented in a correct means or medium. So that is a problem. All right. So here's what I want to say to that viewpoint that's been presented today. For the folks out there that you're saying to some folks, just go play the games. And if you're enjoying the games, that should be what it's all about. Guys, we're already captured by Stadia. Mm-hmm. Stadia knows we're here. We're talking about the folks out there that are going on to Digital Foundry, going on to Kotaku, going on to these other sites, and they're reading stuff that isn't put in a fair context. And at a certain point, you got to stand up and say something. And here's where I'm going to get a little uncomfortable, okay? Mm-hmm. For the folks out there that have been saying this narrative, go back to where you came from and go back into the room and shut the door. If you don't want to say anything, don't say anything. Nobody's asking you to. But don't come at folks. Okay, I've got righteous indignation in my voice because there was this morning that really pissed me off.
Yeah.
Don't come at folks and tell them, hey, just go play your game and shut up. Yeah. Because that's basically what's being said here. Absolutely. Just play your game. If it's fun, what do you got to complain about? Folks, it's not about us at the end of the day. It isn't. It's not about us. It's about the larger population trying to look at this platform with a fair shake. That's the problem. That's the issue. That's what we're trying to get at here. That's the rub. So if that context wasn't there, and maybe that didn't come across, now you know. Knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe. Now you know. And to get over to the Digital Foundry situation, if you go back and you look at what Richard Ledbetter did in March of 2019, and you compare it to what we saw yesterday, folks, it's night and day. And I don't even have to tell you. You can go read it, watch it yourself, and then compare it to yesterday's breakdown, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. Yep. Richard goes into every single nook, cranny, molecule of how he gets to his conclusions. And he has said stuff that's not necessarily, what's the right word? Not necessarily positive.
The praising. Yeah, praising. Exactly.
Exactly. But he's always backed it up with the why.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
That's what I respect about the man. This was not done in that light. We're dealing with metrics in this article about a game of whether it's fun or not. Whose metric are you playing on? Whose metric are you using to determine that? Then in the video, they don't talk about the fact that they actually tested this in conditions during COVID-19, but bury it all the way almost at the bottom of the article. I even missed it yesterday when we were talking about it. Yep. That's not okay. A real journalistic site, and this is my opinion, Digital Foundry, if you don't like it, write better. A real journalistic site would have put on there, we're testing in these conditions right now, but in the future, we will test in normal conditions and do a comparison. No one would have been upset about that. No one would have been mad about that.
Yep.
Those are the problems that are being presented. And on top of that, we don't get the full breakdown of all the conditions of what this person was running into. Were they at home? Were they at work? Were they on a VPN? All that stuff, if you go and watch Richard's video, he talks about this. He literally lays it all out there. No surprises. That's how it should be, folks. That's what we're upset about. And it's because what happens if your friend Joe down the street wants to try Stadia, never talks to you about it, but goes to that website and reads this stuff? What do you think he's going to think? And I know MM's going to get into this later, and I don't want to steal his thunder, but the tweet that went out yesterday that coincided with this article says everything you need to know about what I'm talking about. And yeah, folks will say they do clickbaity articles all the time. They do clickbaity statements all the time.
Yeah,
folks,
that would, yeah.
At the end of the day, you can't put out a general statement like that and not provide context. You cannot. And I want to go back, because I was very harsh to something I just said a moment ago when I said, just go back to where you came from. Let me clarify that a little bit better. When I'm talking about folks saying don't speak up or, play your game and that should be enough, I shouldn't have maybe said it that way. What I should have said is, if you don't want to speak up, go back into the gopher hole. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Don't come at folks. And that is one thing I try my hardest. I know there's times that I goof up on this, is I really like to try to provoke thought. You know this about me, is that I like to have discourse, not from a place of trying to put people down or trying to nullify their views or their opinions. Absolutely. It's to understand and to learn, because I want to know where the person's coming from, because I want to learn. I want to understand. There's a difference between doing that and telling someone, hey, if you enjoy the game, why are you complaining? Go play the game. It should be fun. And again, my statement to that is, it's all well and good with the following caveat. I'm going to use this analogy that I used last night. They came for the barber, and I said nothing. They came for the butcher, and I said nothing. They came for me, and no one was left to speak for me.
I'm sorry. Every time I hear that, it gives me chills because it's so accurate. But go ahead. I'm sorry, Chase. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. But it directly relates to what we're talking about here, because it's real easy to sit in your silo and pretend the world around you isn't burning or crashing until it comes to your front door. And if this was any other platform, and we saw that it was taking a hit, or it was getting hurt, or it was potentially dying because the media was making an issue out of something, folks would be standing up in droves. But it isn't fully reaching their doorsteps yet, so they don't want to say anything about it. And again, that's fine. But I'm looking out for the folks out there that are trying to look at this platform and make a purchasing decision. I'm not trying to tell them what to do. I just want to provide a factual, realistic breakdown. And again, if there's folks out there that all you want to do is focus on gaming and the game, guys, that's why we have an amazing community. We have one of the best communities out there, because it's like a cable package. But you can't come at me and tell me to stay in my lane. When I do as a service on my channel, and I'm speaking for me now in this moment, is to come at things from a business lens, is to put out their factual information so people can make an educated decision. Don't be mad at me about that. That's what I do. That's the purpose of my channel. That's why I do what I do, because I want folks to understand this is Stadia, this is the console, this is xCloud, this is Stadia. And then guess what? The folks can then make their own decision. If 5 people come to my channel and only 2 of them choose Stadia, I'm okay with that. Everyone should game the way they want to game. That's fine.
Yep.
At least folks have gotten a breakdown or an understanding of what the options are, right? And then they've made a decision. And guess what? I've done my job. And that's what it's all about. And I feel like this is almost liberating in a sense, because I feel like I've just put out what my mantra is for the channel. I say it all the time. I want folks to truly understand why I do what I do. And I'm different than a lot of folks out here. And I don't want to beat anybody down. Everyone in this community does an amazing job. We need those folks that talk just about the games. We need everybody out there that talks in this sense. But at a certain point, guys, we cannot put our heads in the sand and pretend that the world around us doesn't have a fire, several trees that might potentially land on my freaking house.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's where I'm coming from on this stuff. And hopefully, again, I wanted to clear up that once, because I was getting impassioned there for a moment.
Yeah.
I don't want someone to think I'm saying, go back into your house and shut the door and don't say anything, because I'm no better than you if I say that. But what I'm trying to say is that if you don't want to speak up, that's fine. We're not telling you to come out and speak up. Go back into the gopher hole. Don't say Don't interject. Don't jump in. Don't get on to people for speaking out. Sometimes something has to be said. And in this, you compare, and this is where I'm going to leave it. When you compare Rich's breakdown last year, you look at what happened over the weekend with the disingenuous comments. Sorry, hold on one second. The disingenuous comments that happened in regards to the person from Digital Foundry, basically basically saying streaming, I don't like streaming. And then we get to this day, or we get to this yesterday. There's too much to not have to say something. And that's why we're speaking up and why we're speaking out. And hopefully, again, that puts a better spin and better context on the why.
Absolutely. I might even have to end the stream right now, Chase. You hit on every single point. And all we did was talk about a few points. We really didn't talk about what your full thoughts were and my full thoughts, but it's pretty much mimicking what I have to say. I'm going to flesh it out a little bit more, but no, spot on. So just to confirm for everybody that is not aware, this is not a chest pounding contest. This isn't, Digital Foundry, Mark and John Linneman, you hurt our feelings. You didn't say nothing nice about our favorite piece of cloud gaming. This is because you and I and others care about who, Chase? The unsuspecting gamer. The unsuspecting gamer is the one that doesn't have Stadia yet, that are on the fence. We talk to them every day. When they see something from Digital Foundry, someone who has ripples in the community, so much ripples or so much impact that Xbox went to them to present the Xbox Series X, and it's done phenomenal for them as far as mindshare is concerned. That's the ripple that they have. When somebody like that says, let me go to it right here. Let me see if I can find it. When they say something to the effects of, let me pull it up on the screen real quick before you go. Oh crap. Okay, there it goes. When they say something to the effects that, sadly, it's a fascinating case, but as with Wolfenstein Youngblood, the practical result spells the problems that Stadia has with running first-person shooter games. When they see something like that, I don't get where people think that's positive. Is it just me, Chase, or what is it? Why do you think, we kind of touched on this before the show, but why do you think that people can see stuff like that in a review, it being part of the conclusion, and think that this was overall a positive view?
So, and we did touch on this. There were some positive things in this article as far as the visual standpoints and stuff like that. But what I think, and I'm going to just speak for me here, because I know I read things. You heard me say this last night, with a third eye, and I listen with a third ear. You have to read between the lines. And what was Stadia's number one sticking point last year? It was all about lag and latency. This is intentional, why they kept going back to this. Like, if you read, and MM, if you go further up in the article, and when you touch on this later, we touched on last night where there was the italicized 100 millisecond, right there. You just went too far. Go back down just a little bit. It's that one right there where they talk about the 100 milliseconds on top of in the italic. They talk about latency 3 times to try to hit it home. Why do you have to berate that so much? That's what, again, guys, you have to read these things very closely and pay attention to what's being said. People can be real slick with words. And if you're not paying attention to what the narrative is, the narrative changed almost 2 or 3 times in this article. It went from, well, there's the visual. Well, now there's the latency problem. Oh, well, now guess what? It's not fun to play. What does that have to do with latency? Stick to the facts. If this is a talk about visual and latency, that's what I want to hear about. Stick to what those pieces are. Who are you to be subjective and throw in an arbitrary test piece or an arbitrary scale to say, well, this game is fun or it's not fun? What scale are you using? Show me that scale. I didn't realize Digital Foundry was in the business of the fun game.
Yeah. They have the fuzzy ruler. Yeah, exactly.
Right. So at a certain point, we got to call it like we see it. And again, this whole issue around Doom has created all kinds of turmoil. We had the 4K issue, last week, everybody was split on that. The community is evenly split a little bit on this one, but I can't go beyond my convictions. I can't. And I cannot, I can't allow voices. And again, I'm being very respectful when I say this. I can't allow to tell me, shut up and go play your game. Go have fun. If the game's fun, that's all that should matter. It's not about us, folks. This is a much bigger conversation. We are already here. We're established. We ain't going anywhere. But what about Joe down the street? That's who I'm looking out for.
Exactly.
I ain't just looking out for myself. And again, if there's folks out there that's the mentality that you have, then by all means, again, there's nothing wrong with that. But please don't come at folks and say, go play your game and have fun. That is not acceptable. And I'm calling it out. Again, I'm trying to be respectful in the same tone of I respect everybody community. But I cut out a little bit.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. There was some background noise, but I think you're good now. You're good now.
So yeah, so that's my 2 cents on it. And again, I'm trying to be respectful about it. Is that what is this?
Uh-oh, something going on. Are you hearing something in the background?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It looks like it's coming through some weird thing on Google. I don't know what it is. All right. So anyways, I'm trying to be respectful, but I'm trying to also say this in the vein of, at the end of the day, everyone out there, I respect the hell out of this community. I respect everyone's opinions, but I don't take kindly to that type of rhetoric. I just don't. And I don't appreciate when folks tell folks, go sit in your corner and don't say anything. I've never once said that to somebody. Never once in this community said, hey, your opinion, you're saying this, but don't talk about that. Go sit in the corner. Yeah. Go play your game, because that should be all that matters.
Yep. Absolutely. Big ups to Duncan. I'll just get your thoughts on this real quick. And again, this is the community is diverse, and we respect everyone's diverse opinions. And I don't think Duncan definitely isn't one of the arbitrary forces that are saying, don't say anything. But he just has a different take on it. And he says, he explained why it was fun to play in the video. He had to adopt his play style. I'm going to give my thoughts first, and I'd like for you to follow up, Chase. It's not that he said that he had to adopt his play style, because we've heard before, even from Bungie, that there is, depending upon how frequent you play FPSs, there might be some noticeable latency. But what he's saying here, he's giving specific measurements that just are theoretically impossible from what we all know. He's saying that there's 79 to 100 extra milliseconds of latency here. And we discussed this last night, to where from our gameplay, I'm sorry,
I got to bounce out.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Chase, for your time. Appreciate it.
No problem. And I apologize. I just got hit with something. So
okay.
Y'all have an awesome day. And those were just my takes on it, man. And you're going to kill it. Do an awesome stream, my friend. You
made it hard for me, but you have a good one, buddy. See you.
All right.
All right. So to Duncan's point, he said that there was an extra 179 milliseconds to 100 milliseconds. And from my experience, it doesn't exist. From what I saw from, per se, Lloyd on Stadia Cast's channel, that doesn't exist. There's other streams where that much latency, that extra millisecond, doesn't exist. So if we don't see this extra lag, and I'm looking at everybody playing it on Stadia, but yet you're the only one experiencing it in your Digital Foundry, that says to me that that's a problem-solving issue. So what did you do to problem solve? Well, they just simply went to another game and said, yeah, we're seeing higher than regular lag, but we're going to continue on with the show here. And that's a problem because you're Digital Foundry. I'm MM2K. I have no way, shape, or form have as much technical know-how as you. I know to toggle to HDR. I know to check my network. And there's certain things that you didn't even speak of to here. So it seems like that you're not making sure that you have the ideal play conditions to test this like you would for a dedicated device. And we beckon back to what you said over the weekend, Digital Foundry, about how you don't like cloud gaming. So when you put all that together, of course, it gives a stink, it gives an air. And like the saying goes, a fish rots from the head. It gives that type of air apparent bias to your whole analysis. This didn't even seem like a typical analysis. And look, I'm going to say it like this, guys. And those are my thoughts. So it's not that he just randomly put in here, well, I prefer it on dedicated devices because I had more fun per my experience. No, he clearly says that he's making a well-rounded comment for everybody. That it's a fascinating test case, but Stadia, its practical results spells out the problems that Stadia has with running first-person games. Forget us. We got to get out of our silos. And I've seen this in other communities, and we're starting to replicate the negative traits of other communities. This is bigger than us. If I am the unsuspecting gamer that has no experience with Stadia, and I see that is telling me in so many encoded language that Stadia can't run first-person shooters. And I'm Digital Foundry. I have a blue check mark next to my name. I get thousands and thousands in Patreon money. People follow me from all ends of the earth. Now people are even making excuses for me. So why wouldn't I believe you that first-person shooters just are not fun on Stadia? That has rippling effect. And for those of us that believe this, and bless your hearts, I know you guys mean well, but for those of you that really believe that the release of base is going to make this all go away, you're wrong. You're wrong. You want to know why you're wrong? Because stuff sticks. In 2020, we're still dealing with people that still are upset with Xbox from 2013, despite everything Xbox has done. They're giving games away for $1 now. They still refuse to partake in the system because of what happened in 2013 with DRM. This stuff sticks, and we live in an outrage culture. So again, like Chase said, if you want to be the ones that says, you know what, I don't feel like it's worth saying anything, then don't say anything. But there are some of us that are here for different reasons, and we don't all want to be a carbon copy of each other. This is a great community, like Chase said, and we all handle things differently. And I don't want a conveyor belt community like you have elsewhere, where everyone thinks the same and they damage control for the same thing. So what I think Chase was trying to say is that if you choose to be quiet about this because you don't think it's worth it, that's fine. But we're going to say something, and here's why. And I appreciate both of it, just like I appreciate Duncan's opinion or anybody else's opinion. We're going to shed light to it all. I didn't say, oh, Duncan, go somewhere. No, this is all important, and it shows the diversity of the community. But please do not fall into the same rabbit hole that I've seen other communities fall into, and don't want a conveyor belt type of community where we all work within the same echo chamber. I want to say this first and foremost, and this is where I'm going to officially pick up from from Chase. I get it. Some people are here just to share their game experience with like-minded folks. Nothing wrong with that. Some are here just to entertain you while they talk about games. And some are here to, like we say, just for the foolery and the effery, right? When it comes to games, just to chop it up and clown each other. And that's fine. I'm not going to judge anybody. You do what you want to do. But what I'm here for, and what I believe Chase is here for, what he illustrated, is that we're here for to contribute in the ongoing information bartering system. Now, what do I mean by that? I want people to be informed to make the best purchasing decisions they can make, because I want to be informed to make the best purchasing decisions. And I know others feel the same way too. And I know there are those who are not keen on all the info that they need in order to make those decisions. And I've been in the same situation. I didn't know everything that I needed to make a purchasing decision. And I would have loved instead of wasting hundreds or thousands of dollars on certain things for someone to be looking out for me, whether they knew me or not, instead of just trying to get click money and click ad revenue off of me. So that's what we're here for. I am not here to preach to the choir. I've told you guys this all the way back in SSC podcast episode 1. And I am not here to ride Google on my shoulders. They're a multi-trillion-dollar company. They're the richest company in the world. I in no way, shape, or form have the bandwidth to be able to do that. I am here for who? The unsuspecting gamer. Okay? So I want to be critically clear what I provide opposed to what some of you may provide. If you want to just share gaming experiences, great. Share those gaming experiences. I am here for the unsuspecting gamer to barter facts. And whenever something comes up unfactual that's going to hinder their purchasing decision based off of what I know they may like, I'm going to speak up, period. That's what this platform is built off of, just so we're clear, okay? So now that we got that clear, what is the actual problem here that those like Chase and I have? Because I want to break people up into 3 groups when it comes to this. Group number 1 are the people that feel like that this is a nothing burger. It shouldn't be addressed, that what Digital Foundry said was fine. Group number 2 are the people that are emotionally upset about what Digital Foundry said because they're mad about their favorite console being ragged on. And that's not us. We fit into group 3. Group 3 simply is like, hold on, you're misleading people, and that matters to us. It may not matter to you, but it matters to us. So because we know people are being misled, their purchasing decisions are being messed up for, it's like what Chase said. If they came after the barber and I didn't say nothing, then they came after the butcher and I didn't say nothing, who's going to be there for me when I need it? That's the big picture. This is not a chest pounding campaign. So here's why I sum it up that as far as what Digital Foundry did was a problem. Let me just pull this up right here. So here's a tweet that I sent. And I just basically said here, just to sum it all up, here is the big issue with the Digital Foundry Doom Eternal video. 1, it seems rushed with lack of typical analysis from the team. We already went into it. We went into it extensively last night with Richard Ledbetter, how he did it idealistically in March and how they're doing it rough shot now. You know what I mean? Secondly, the positives of what Stadia has to offer is thrown in word salad while negatives are being dragged out. You and I that are in the know, that are the nerds here, you know what I'm saying, that are not the unsuspecting gamer, we know how to easily parse out what they were saying. But again, the unsuspecting gamer doesn't know what they're trying to say positively. I've had conversations with people behind the scenes. See, I don't live in the Stadia bubble. I don't live in the Stadia silo. I didn't run the Discord. I didn't run the Reddit. I didn't run the MySpace or wherever the hell y'all went. I stayed on Twitter and I fought. So therefore, I'm not in the Stadia bubble. I know what the consensus is as far as the average gamer is. And the average gamer, when this news started filtering from Digital Foundry to WCCF Tech, and as it goes elsewhere, the general consensus is Stadia is trash. And Digital Foundry helped me elaborate how Stadia is trash. They said that it has a problem with first-person shooters. I'm not going to spend my $60 on that. And Base is not going to help that. When Base releases, if people are still out there over-purporting stuff, saying that there's an extra 100 milliseconds of lag and all this other stuff, then guess what? The unsuspecting gamer is going to say, that's trash. Because it's not like Base is going to make the games free. People still have to buy the games. Who's going to buy a game where you're being told playing it is not fun? Or what else did they say here? Let me see. Where's the... It says, Doom Eternal's performance on console is already a great achievement that extends to Stadia. You'll bump into hitches purely based on the quality of your online connection. In my case, I got lucky and played for 2 straight hours. You got lucky? So then that's sending a signal. Hold on. It's not atypical for your gameplay to be even at this level, you got lucky. Like, this is stuff that resonates to the gamer. There's no skirting around the fact that Doom Eternal is inherently less fun to play on Stadia. What? How do you drive anything positive from that? That just throws anything positive that you sit out the window. There's no skirting around the fact that Doom Eternal is inherently less fun to play on Stadia. Not in my experience, I had less fun playing with Stadia because we might have some COVID-19 issues. No, he's making a generalistic statement. First, there's no skirting around the fact. There is no skirting around the fact. Fact. What are we doing here? There's no skirting around the fact that Doom Eternal is inherently less fun to play on Stadia. The practical result spells out problems with Stadia running first-person shooter games. I am the unsuspecting gamer. I am not Joe Blow. I'm not Jane Doe that has Stadia already, that's already invested in the ecosystem. I hear that. I see that. I see the additional spend from WCCF Tech, from IGN, from elsewhere that want to get clicks once this starts hitting there. And guess what I say? I have $60 to spend. This is the biggest game out so far in 2020. Am I going to get this where it's not fun to play? There's no skirting around the fact that Doom Eternal is inherently less fun to play on Stadia. Why would I spend my $60 on that? Is it starting to make sense, or is it starting to stick now, people? And again, why is that important? Well, okay, I don't care. MM2K, I don't care. I don't care if other people listen to other people to make gaming decisions. That's their idiotic thing to do. And to that, I say this. Maybe it is so, but it's the way of the world. I give this example to my kids all the time when they say, well, things shouldn't be like this and things shouldn't be like that. Say if one day I'm walking down the street from the grocery store and I usually cut through this alley to get home with my groceries. I want to hurry up. The groceries are heavy and it's late at night. And I look through the alley and I see a bunch of nefarious looking people in the alleyway. They dressed up like they're auditioning for Michael Jackson's Beat It. They got leather jackets and with spikes coming out and metal bars and everything. Rhinestone scarves, everything. Now I can make a decision. I can say, you know what? It's stupid that they're sitting here like this, waiting in this alleyway. The Constitution of the United States says I have the right to walk through this alleyway, so I'm going to walk through this alleyway. Or I can say, you know what? It's not right that they're doing that, but I better do the smart thing and go elsewhere, okay? And I'm going to do the latter. I'm going to do the smart thing and go elsewhere. I'm going to do the smart thing and recognize the situation as it is. Recognize life as it is. Not sit there and say, well, people should do this or people should. That's not going to work. People listen to outlets. Should they? No. You're better off figuring it out on your own. But we know that people are busy. Sometimes they're just lazy, and they listen to these outlets. And these outlets have impact. If they didn't have impact, then Xbox Series X wouldn't be doing as well as it is as far as mindshare is concerned. So this has impact. All right. So if you don't care about the average consumer, then care about yourself. Because for those of you in the know, you should recognize and remember that at I/O 2019, Google told you how they were able to give you 4K 60. They utilized Project Stream and offered 24,000 hours of data. They were able to come up with the 4K 60 model. They presented it at GDC. And then around GDC is when they were able to sign up Bungie. And they were able to give us Destiny 2, which was very important to the platform, at least in the launch era. And now they got to compete with these other consoles. And people have to make decisions. Every gamer is not going to sit there and say, well, I'm going to just get all of them. Because then that deflates the purpose of it being a cheaper resource if they're just going to get all of them. They're going to say, I'm just going to go with the cheaper option if it's viable. But if they don't think it's viable, they're not going with it. And it being available to play with your favorite YouTuber means nothing if it's a dull experience. So this stuff sticks. And if you need more proof, then look at the fact that Xbox, despite everything Phil Spencer has done, cannot even crack 50% of what PlayStation 4 is doing. They're giving away games for $1, and they can't crack 50%. Google needs data. In order for Google to stay up with these next-gen consoles, they need data. People are going to make decisions. Everybody's not like you and I. Look, we got to have some real conversations, y'all. Because, again, I'm not in the Stadia, but I love the platform. It's my number one platform. But I'm not in the Stadia bubble. I'm going to keep it real, and then I'm going to start going to some questions because we got to be honest here. Y'all do realize that we're only a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction. You realize we're not 5, 10, 15 million strong. We're likely not even 1 million strong. You do understand that, right? And why aren't we? And you do understand that when this thing launched, it underperformed, right? Y'all do understand this, right? Why did it underperform? Because the media said that it sucked. Like how they're doing here. They said that it sucked. And people they said it didn't work. That we were able to crest over that and show that it didn't work. It's too expensive. Then we were able to show the sales and show that it wasn't too expensive. All right, then there's this. Then there's that. Then the visuals are crappy. Everything. And you can't play whack-a-mole at everything. But Digital Foundry, damn it, they're not just any old body. And if they're lying, then we're suffering. Why? Because in order for Stadia to keep up with the next generation consoles, Google needs data. They've already underperformed as far as bringing people aboard. We got to keep it real. We know the platform is great, but we got to keep it real. In order for them to catch up, they need to get more data. There are a slew of people on the fence. I talk to them all the time because I am not in the Stadia bubble. And when they saw this, they said, yo, Moss, I got to keep it a buck. This Digital Foundry thing, that don't look good. That don't look good. It just don't look good. They're like, Moss, you out here fighting for your life, but it don't look good, bruh. It don't look good. They did not take away the positives that y'all in the bubble took away from this. And if you think, whether you think it's stupid or not, that they feed off of this, that doesn't matter. We need them to help the platform grow. And y'all got to recognize that. I love the platform. I'll promote it and fight for it to high hell, but I'm not dumb. I'm fully aware of where this platform is at. And it is not, look, what is absolute is that Google is going in for the long term. What is not absolute is that this thing is going to be successful. We just got to keep, it's not absolute that it's going to be successful. It's absolute that it's going to offer a lot. It's absolute that it's going to be a phenomenal experience. It's going to even grow, but it's not absolute that it's going to be successful. And this isn't my first time saying this. I've said this several podcasts ago when I asked you guys to step up. And I get it. You guys are fatigued. You're tired. You just want to play the games. But understand this. It's just the way that it is. If we do not, in large situations like this, have at least a group of us that are going to speak up, then enjoy it while you can. Enjoy it while you can. I am telling you that are in the Stadia bubble, it does not matter when base releases. It might go on to some instance. People might start getting some cheap games, but the big ticket games, for them to fully invest in it, they're not going to do it if these entities keep spitting this bibble babble that is false and they don't get challenged on it. Look, I don't care personally what Digital Foundry thinks. I'm not a big Digital Foundry fan. I like Richard Ledbetter. Me and Chase talked about this, to be honest. I like Richard, but for the whole outfit, they focused on bibawatts and gigahertz, and I really don't give a damn about that stuff. I want unique gaming experiences. And that they don't focus on, and they have no way to gauge it as far in a level that I'm concerned about. Right? And plus, you're talking to someone that spent several months capping for Fallout 76. I think Fallout 76 was a good game even at launch. It was a typical Fallout game, and it was good. And I didn't give a damn who didn't like what I had to say. I said what I said. So I don't care what other people think. Follow me on Twitter if you don't recognize. My homie Cold Blood Sensei will tell you. I don't care what other people think. This is not about Digital Foundry. You're not nice about my platform. I don't care about that. As long as I know that it's going to be around and it's going to be viable, I'm going to enjoy it. But that is the tell-all be-all. It is not given that it's going to stick around if we don't start getting people over to the platform to provide data to Google so they can keep up with these next-gen consoles. That Xbox Series X is going to be beefy. That PlayStation 5 with the dev power of the dev team of Naughty Dog and whoever, 9.7 teraflop, whatever the hell, 10.3, 89.7, I don't know, but it's going to be dangerous in the hands of those developers. We are trying to compete with them. If we want to stay pace, we need data so Stadia can increase the capacity and do it right. And if you don't believe me, then go to Tequila Works. They tell it all in an article to businessindustry.com. So this is bigger than pounding your chest and being emotionally upset that Digital Foundry didn't agree with your choice of gaming. This is even bigger, even though this is my main sticking point, it's even bigger than caring for other gamers. If you truly love this platform and you want to see the longevity of it, then you have to be honest and you got to keep it real. We are a fraction upon a fraction upon a fraction. And just simply by the release of base, that's not going to do it. If the general consensus is still that the biggest gaming genre to date, currently in gaming, the first-person shooter does not work well on the platform. The practical result spells out the problems that Stadia has with running first-person shooter games. I'm going to read the whole paragraph to you for those of you that feel like to do something positive here. This is the closing statement. I repeat, this is the closing statement. The unavoidable conclusion is that this is a game that is simply a lot more fun to play on a local console. Once you bundle in the field of view option, the improved terrain, and the snappier input, it's hard to justify going with Stadia purely on the grounds of convenience. Unless you don't have another console available. So if you have to make a decision, you're making a dumb one going with Stadia. It's certainly playable, like we know xCloud is playable. They're putting them on the same plateau. It's certainly playable, but to appreciate the hard work and software put into nailing Doom Eternal's high tempo action, there are much better options out there. In other words, you would be a damn fool to play this thing on Stadia. This thing is monumentous. You got to play this on a console or PC only. And for a genre that's defined by its speed of gameplay, it stands out more so than most Stadia games I've tried. Sadly, that is a fascinating test case, but as with Wolfenstein Youngblood, the practical result spells out the problems with Stadia has with running first-person shooter games. I see y'all bubbling in the comment section. I'm gonna get to y'all. They closed off their evaluation with that. And people are trying to sell to MM2K that that's positive. Look, I'm not trying to be mean. I love y'all. And people that know me personally, that know me as a friend, know that I'm very shrewd and I'm very direct in my evaluation of things. I don't know if Digital Foundry is giving out fruitcakes every Christmas, or if they have the most killer barbecue every summer. They're giving out free Heineken. I don't know what the hell is going on. But the buffering that is going on saying that this is positive, either you didn't look at everything in totality, or some feel that they don't want to rock the boat when it comes to Digital Foundry. And that's okay. Don't be scared. That's what I'm here for, baby. Leave that to MM2K, baby. Just go stand back in the barracks. But to try to sell this as something positive that we should be proud of, and it's just something to build off of. No. This is a clear-cut shot through the bow. This Stadia thing cuts away your fun. Leave this to the weird hippie tech enthusiasts that want to proclaim this thing as something. But if you're a gamer like me, then play this on a dedicated device. Now, if this was an evaluation of the most recent patch of Ghost Recon Breakpoint, or then like Duncan said earlier, I haven't played it on Stadia yet, Wolfenstein Youngblood, if that's an accurate depiction of that, I would not have any problem, because it is what it is. And me and Duncan spent a whole show tearing Stadia a new one on stuff that they need to do. I don't have a problem with that. Because it's factual. It's factual. It's factual. But when we sit here and we try to turn a blind eye to what is more than evident than a hit job, and we want to be quiet because we don't want to rock the boat, I beckon back to what Chase said so elegantly before he left. They first came for the barber, I said nothing. They came for the butcher, I said nothing. They then came for me, and there was no one left to help me. At some point in time, they're going to keep chipping away at this thing, and if we remain a mum about it, it's going to be Xbox all over again. People still don't want to touch the system because of what happened in 2013. This is an established platform. They're giving games away for $1. How on God's green earth do you think that releasing base is going to change this perception if it goes as is? The practical result spells out the problems. Stadia as with running first-person games. So if Call of Duty even comes, I'm not playing it there. Why would I get it? Why would I buy Call of Duty for $60 on Stadia? They have a problem with first-person games, Digital Foundry said, or I heard from IGN, or I heard from Polygon. That's how this works, baby. And I get it. A lot of us, because of the rhetoric that's been out there on Twitter, we've been pushed back to our own echo chamber. I'm part of this. I'm part of the movement. I see y'all on Discord, tippity tap, 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 tap. Y'all don't go nowhere else. I see y'all on Reddit, tippity tap, tap, tap. Y'all don't go nowhere else. Y'all peek your head out in Twitter and pop it right back in. Like Twitter's the plague. But when you do that, you separate yourself from general consensus. The general consensus is that Stadia is trash, and this solidifies it even more. And the people that are on the fence, when they saw this, they said, you know what? You out here fighting for your day. They was hitting me up with the memes, the R. Kelly memes. You out here fighting for your damn life, MM2K. But it don't look good, brother. It don't look good. And me going to somebody and saying, well, wait till base comes out. Their response to me is, what the hell difference does that make? If the platform doesn't, quote unquote, work with first person shooters, then why? I don't care if it's base, chase, main, space. I'm not buying the damn game. So that's it, people. I get it. You're exhausted. You're tired. You just want to play the games. And now we got big old bad Digital Foundry in the mix. But I ain't never ran. I ain't never scared. I could care who less. I could care less who it is. If you're spitting unfactual information and harming the potential decisions of the unsuspecting gamer, you're going to see me. And everybody doesn't have to be like that. That's fine. That's fine. But everybody doesn't have to be like you either. So for those that want us to be silenced, you're cutting off your nose to spite your face. And I think that's the inherent message here. So I think what we should do from here is some of us that want to participate, continue to let Digital Foundry know this is cool. I'm not saying do it every day, but where it comes up, just wasn't cool. And I urge that Digital Foundry just step away from any other analysis when it comes to cloud gaming. And because they're now stewards of boggling down technology, because some of them have an issue with them keeping their favorite discs, you know what I'm saying? They got to have the instruction booklet. I personally can't support them. I can't click on their materials. I can't support their Patreon. I can only support, don't even donate to them. Because you're supposed to be a tech analysis firm and you're anti the increase of certain technologies? No. And rather, if somebody comes to me and says, hey, I was looking at Digital Foundry and I want to invest in the Patreon, what do you say? I'm going to steer them away from that. And I offer anybody that is interested, I floated this idea out there on the internet over the weekend. If you know how to count pixels or you know somebody that knows how to do it and they're interested in doing it, I've been talking to Chase and some other people. We are looking at ways of creating an offshoot of what they do specifically for cloud gaming. People that know how to check their networks, people that knows the right Ethernet cord, the right router and all other stuff. If you are interested in participating in that or actually supporting that, hit me up at MM2K on Twitter. You can also send me an email at mightymos2000@hotmail. Okay. So with that said, I babbled on for a while. I had a lot to say. I hope I didn't hurt anybody's feelings. I love all of y'all, but just sometimes, we call it, hey, in my industry, we call it the coming to Jesus speech. I had to have this in like episode 3 of the SSC podcast where y'all was sleeping and dozing and hiding out in Discord and Reddit and not challenging these people. Y'all done a great job and y'all did it. Now y'all come across another milestone. Y'all shook on Digital Foundry. Ooh, this is Digital Foundry. This is different from Joe Blow. I get it. But the fight can't stop there. And everybody, sometimes y'all can take a break. If you don't want to say anything, fine. But this in no way, shape, or form is positive because it's sending, not just because it's sending a negative one, it's sending a non-factual perception to the average gamer. Not you. You know how to parse this better, but it's not about you. Google needs way more than us in order to survive. Period. Woo, there's 95 comments in here, baby. Let's get to them. Let us get to them. All right, let me do this. It says, Stadia Arcadia, we love you too, mate. I love, hey, look, I love you guys, man. I really do. It says, no disrespect to you all because I respect your opinions, but I have to respond as a person who has spent hundreds of hours on Stadia. What else we got here? We got Rick Tony says, this pandemic will only strengthen cloud media in general. People will work and game at home with lower powered hardware. Here's the thing, y'all. I get it. But guess what else is out there? GFN, right? So if everybody is attacking Stadia and GFN is free, guess where they're going? Guess where they're going? So we got to be cognizant of that. It says Project. We don't know if Sony switched over to Azure yet. Okay, so they're going back and forth. Hey, look, Project. My homies, Heat, Steven, and Cold Blood Senseis, they're my PlayStation aficionados. They're big time supporters of the platform, so I love them, and they come in rad state. But that's why. But it's important to not shut. No, first and foremost, I love those guys too. I love them generally, and they know that. I love them because they're just great people. But I could be like everyone else. Oh, they're sitting there saying this negative stuff and MM2K cut them off. No, it keeps me out of the bubble. They keep me sharp. When I sit there and think general consensus is going one way and they can hit me with a dose of reality, that keeps my material sharp. I don't want to be in a bubble. I don't get people that want to be. I get it's a protection thing, but I don't want to be in a bubble. Look, to me, next to some other thing I won't get into, but to me, the greatest commodity to mankind is information. I love I seek information every day. Information is so vital to me. And when I wake up and I hear misinformation being fed to someone else, to me, that's like spitting in someone's food. That's how serious I take this. I don't like people getting their food spitting. I don't want nobody spitting in my food. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why misinformation is a problem to me, and that's why you see me often tippity-tapping on Twitter. With that being said, though, you can't fight every battle. I've talked to some people beyond. Don't even worry about that article. Don't worry about this. But this is Digital Foundry. So we can't be in our bubbles. We can't sit there and think base is going to be the tell-all be-all. We got to be real, y'all. We are a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction. And it's not coherent that this thing is going to be successful. We know it got what it takes to be successful, but it's not a given. Let me see who else we got here. Keith Stevenson, calm down, MMTK. You know I can't calm down. That's how I speak. Deep Blue Sea, you ain't seen none of my movies. No, I butchered that. It's supposed to be from Chappelle's show. Rick Tone says Google really needs an event with people playing or community event to showcase Stadia, even if it's devs playing with the community online. I'm going to be honest with you, Rick. That's a great idea. But they've already had something similar to that. It didn't get any traction. And guess who was there? Digital Foundry. Big ups to the homie Hindo. He showed me a video where Digital Foundry said, oh, we played Doom Eternal. This was back at GDC, or no, at E3. We played Doom Eternal. We didn't hardly notice any latency. So now you fast forward to this review and they're experiencing latency. Somebody didn't say, hold on, it's weird that at a convention with other people sucking up bandwidth, they didn't experience any latency, but I'm experiencing latency now. Maybe there's some networking issues here. Matter of fact, let me play that tweet for y'all. Let me see if I can find that tweet for y'all. Hold on 1 second. Because I know I got it. Here it goes. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna play this tweet, baby. Okay. Let me remove. But get good comment, Rick. I appreciate that. All right. So here is comments that John Linneman and Boogie's a YouTube content creator had to say about this same game that all of a sudden shows. What did they say? What would they say again? That showcases that spells out the problems that Stadia has with running first-person shooters. I want y'all to listen to this, and we're gonna talk about it on the back end of it. So here we go. And I hope y'all can hear. No, you know what? I gotta hold on. I gotta remove it, and then I gotta add it back because share screen, share audio. I didn't do that before. There it goes, baby. All right, now I got it. All right, let's do it.
Results right now. So input latency is good. It feels surprisingly responsive. It does feel pretty much like playing a local game. It's not, you can feel a little bit extra delay, but it's not severe.
Or when it came to the latency that I was getting playing a game in Los Angeles that's streaming from San Francisco, and that game being as twitchy as something as Doom Eternal, I noticed no difference whatsoever. I had played the Doom Eternal Xbox version just the day before and played the exact same demo, and when it came to the controls, zero difference. I could not tell a difference.
Results right now.
One more time.
So input latency is good. It feels surprisingly responsive. It does feel pretty much like playing a local game. It's not, can feel a little bit extra delay, but it's not severe.
Or when it came to the latency that I was getting playing a game in Los Angeles that's streaming from San Francisco, and that game being as twitchy as something as Doom Eternal, I noticed no difference whatsoever. I had played the Doom Eternal Xbox version just the day before and played the exact same demo, and when it came to the controls, zero difference. I could not tell a difference.
Result.
Okay. So again, we're going overboard. Chase and I are blowing this thing up, and others are blowing this thing up. 6'4" and Rocks were blowing this thing up. Yet, y'all saw John Linneman on the screen. He gave his account. Y'all heard the man. He noticed little to next latency. Doom Eternal was showcased at this. Boom. Or is that his name? Boom. I'm old. You know what I'm saying? So his name loses me now. But the YouTube content creator, other people that I know that don't like the idea of Stadia being a soul cloud experience, they have all said the same thing. So when you're doing this test during COVID-19, why wouldn't you say to yourself, hold on, these guys were testing this under some shoddy network conditions. I am now testing this and I'm experiencing something way more laggier. Maybe I need to check my network, or maybe I need to, hold off. You don't decide to do that. You roughshod a review and you say something as damaging and over the top, not really factual as that the practical result spells out the problem Stadia has with running first-person shooter games. And we're the ones that are crazy here. We're the ones that are over top. This is positive. This is positive. Look, I love you guys like children I ain't never met. I love you all. I love you. But you gotta, and I mean this with the most, y'all gotta wake up. You gotta, look, I love interacting with the community. You guys have been so kind to me. You guys have tolerated me and my boisterous ways and my craziness and spitting over my pop filter. You guys have been so kind to me. But every now and again, you got to peek your head up from the silo and suck in some oxygen and get some real life perception here when it comes to this. People hate this thing. People hate this thing. This thing is reviled, it's disgusting, all that stuff. And it's all the wrong people that are controlling that narrative. The person that knows and is willing to speak the truth refuse to speak up. And because you refuse to speak up, and because you're exhausted, and because you just say, look, it's Digital Foundry, and I really like those guys. I've liked them for years. I want to give them a pass. Because that is your MO, more people will what? Hate this thing. Guess what? And then Google gets what? Less data. And guess what? This doesn't flourish. And guess what? It goes away. Y'all gotta wake up. All right. Thank you, Stadia. Talk receipts. Let's keep going, baby. Hannard Gamer says, MM2K, you should tell everyone about the video posted. Oh, yeah. Great minds think alike, buddy boy. that was Hendo HD Gamer. Big ups to him for providing us that. Absolute Linneman and Boogie. What I call him, Boom. Yeah, but thank you, Hendo. And Hendo isn't with me 100% on this. We've been back and forth on Twitter, and cordially, though. He doesn't agree with me on this. Unless my sermon has affected him a certain way, and I have a check. But he doesn't, and that's okay. But everybody has a role. Some is just to provide that great gaming content and provide great channels. Some of it is for us to, maybe some of our smaller channels, to be on the front lines. But we all can't be conveyor belt like. We can't be like those other communities. That's what makes us special. That what makes us special despite all of the negative stuff out there. But I get that you're exhausted. We can't give up just yet. I get it. Let me see what else we got here. We got a lot of comments, man. So my homie Cold Blood says, let's put out some of his positive vibes. He said, it's going to be false advertisement when they have the best possible connection to their servers in a controlled environment and you get a very bad experience at home. No, is it false advertisement when they go and tweak their TV for several hours and got these, what do you call it, calibrating tools that they use to tweak their TV and they give you perception from that when they're using dedicated devices? No, it's the same theory. If you're going to sit here and show the dedicated devices in the best light in a lot of ways that people are not going to be able to do on their own, then you got to do the same thing with network, with cloud gaming. And then you just scale it down. Okay, in the best possible light, this is how it performs. But as we scale down to more real world situations, this is what we do. This is what you're going to get and you're going to incur. And don't over purport anything. Don't over purport the good stuff. Don't over purport the bad stuff. Come down the middle. That's all we're asking. You're over purporting the impact on first person shooters. I know for a fact, look, Rage 2 was not one of the snazziest games on Stadia. I have it for PC. My homie Cold Blood Sensei, my homie Rage and I can attest to this. I'm not lying. I have it for PC. I've played it on PC. I played it on Stadia. I'm here to let you know that the perceived latency on one of the worst performing games on Stadia is next to nothing. I'm not saying the actual raw latency, the perceived latency. If you don't know what that is, go to Google and look up IO 2019 after this show. So to make it seem like that it's across the board, that there's problems running first-person shooters games is a farce. And that's not doing the unsuspecting gamer any good. What else we got here? Let me see here. The homie, big up the Project Storm, man. Project Storm is a great content creator as well. He rocked out with us on 6-Force channel. Definitely right click and subscribe to his channel. He got some great stuff, man. He's a tech guy too, man. He appreciates tech, and it's not all about just pounding our chest for Google. He likes Shadow as well, man. He's doing some amazing things and some testing stuff for Shadow. So Project Storm says, unacceptable. They will never get my money until they can catch up and surpass Stadia in performance. They care about streaming because they linked up to take on Google. What is he talking about? xCloud? He might be talking about xCloud. I think they're going back and forth here. Stadia Talk says, isn't mad. This is righteous indignation. Exactly. I'm not mad, baby. I'm not mad. Because after I get done with this, I'm going to take care of some personal business and I'm coming back. I'm going to do some other stuff. And then I'm going to play some Division 2. I'm ecstatic with the platform. But y'all aren't getting it. It's beyond me. This is bigger than me. This is bigger than you. We're already invested in the platform. It doesn't have a whole bunch of games and we've already bought it. Despite all the negative muck out there, we still stuck with it. We ain't going nowhere. We're not. It's bigger than us. You cannot gauge the world's perception of this thing based off of us. That's not being realistic. It's not. Clive Illington says, I guess I'm a fool for playing on Stadia, but this fool have a hell of a lot of fun. You got that, Clive? Exactly. Exactly. Let me see. We had a whole bunch of comments in here. All right, so if you have any, if you guys have any questions, then definitely shoot them at me. You know what I'm saying? Because we're going to go over. Stadia Talk says, yep, 100% what my thoughts were. Thanks for defining and putting context on that, my friend. No, man, look, people got to understand where we're coming from with this, man. This is something that I don't think people are looking at the big picture on. It's not that they reported latency. Look, we're in the know. Look, let's not insult each other's intelligence like that. I hope y'all don't think that I'm not dumb. I know I may sound a little bit off. I know but let's not insult each other's intelligence like that, right? We all know, because we all have done the research. We all know that there is going to be more latency in cloud gaming, at least at this point, than there is going to be on dedicated devices. We know that, and we've been echoing that from the beginning. But the argument has been is that to perceive latency, that's a scientific term. It is the amount of latency that is noticeable possibly noticeable to the human eye in most cases. Now, people that are esports players, they would have, that are running at 300 frames per second. They might be able to spot that a little bit easier. You know what I'm saying? It might affect them a little bit more. But the perceived latency to the average gamer is in a lot of cases non-existent. You may notice it here and there. You know what I'm saying? You may notice a slight difference, but it really doesn't take next to no adjustment whatsoever. That being said, it's like adjusting from 30 frames to 60 frames. Okay. So with that being said, well, no, it's not like, and I'm sorry, it's far less, it's far less strenuous than adjusting to 30 frames to 60 frames, as far as I'm concerned. Now, with that being said, I hope people understand that I'm trying to think of a nice way to say this. If we want the platform, well, you know what? Never mind. I'm gonna let that go. I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone. I don't want to go too far. Who else we got here? Mule Spuss, it works as subjective. I like the objective measurements and analysis. Let me see what else we got. Yeah, so if you got any questions or comments, this was supposed to be a Q&A, but if you got any questions or comments, definitely let me know. Hendo HD Gamer says, I can maybe see Doom having 30 to 50 milliseconds of extra lag, but not 70 to 100. That's all I'm saying. We're not upset about the extra lag. Where's this 70 to 100? If you're experiencing 70 to 100 milliseconds, then if I'm Digital Foundry, which I'm nowhere near as smart as those guys, I can admit it, I'm self-aware. If I'm Digital Foundry, the first thing I'm doing is I'm saying, hold on. Let me see if anybody else is experiencing this. And I go on the internet and I look at other streams and I might come across Lloyd's. And I'm like, hold on. This guy doesn't seem, let me listen to this guy a little bit. Guy seems smart. Oh, he does this podcast Stadia. Oh, he sounds real. Hold on. He plays on PC too, and he's not noticing any latency. Oh, let me go somewhere. Oh, the homie 6'4", let me go somewhere. Project Stream, Chase. I'm the only one experiencing this at these levels. Let me do some network testing. Let me try this. Let me do this. But what did he try to do that was erroneous? And you guys didn't pick up on this, which I picked up on this. He tried showing you that the 4K stream was excellent. That is the visual stream. That's a gauge of the visual stream. If I am on, let me show you guys something. We're going to show up more receipts. Let me do something. Okay, we're going to put that on the screen. All right, and let me put back up. Where did I put my Streamlabs at? There we go. All right, y'all see that? Y'all see that? Now let me get rid of banners. Crap. Where's Brand at? All right, let me get rid of this. Hide this temporarily. And then we're going to hide this too. I want y'all to see something. I'm going to go. Now, I play on my browser. Right? On my browser, I have an Xbox One Elite controller connected wired to my PC. That's how I play. I'm going to go here to Stadia settings. No, I can't find it there. I'm going to have to start again. Let me go back home. Start up Division right now. Let me get rid of Hendo's comment real quick. Okay. Let me do this. Here we go. All right, connection. All right, my connection is good over here, right? He tried showing you this. Now, I can get excellent. I can't show you on my 4K stream right now. I don't know why it's saying good. Normally, it says excellent. But this is not an indicator of how your controller is connected to your system. This is only an indication of how well your stream is working visually. This has nothing to do with your connection of your wireless controller, your Stadia controller. Because if it was, it would never say excellent. I'm taking out the Stadia controller right now. I just took out not Stadia controller. I just unplugged my wireless controller right now. It's unplugged. It still says good. I repeat, it still says good. I'm going to plug it back in. Let me close this. Shift tab. All right, I'm going to start it with the controller. Let's go back to the connection. It's still good, right? Y'all see that? I just unplugged the controller. It's still good. That has nothing, that signal right there has nothing to do. All right, let me close this out. That signal right there has nothing to do with the connection to your controller. Now, why did I bring that up? Because we all know that you can have latency issues with the connection to your controller. That has nothing to do with your stream. Your stream can perform well, but you're also got a simultaneous feed to the data center from your wireless controller. So if that data stream is not working well, if your controller is not calibrated right because you've been letting it sit, and that's likely the case because Digital Foundry says they don't really play Stadia all like that, then that could explain the 70 to 100 milliseconds of lag that you're experiencing. So when we say they can't be experiencing that lag, we're not saying that what you saw was visual tricks or CG. No, what they're showing you is actual, but it's not the normal test case. And they should have did some analysis to prove that. They should have did some network analysis to show that. And I think they knew better and they didn't care to do that. Why? Because they can't be that dumb. He went and showed you the 4K excellent signal that has nothing to do with his connection to the controller. It has nothing to do with this connection to the controller. None at all. Cold Blood Sensei, I got plenty of Doom streams on this channel. You got to check them out. I can't show Doom here. It's only 30 frames per second on StreamYard. But I got plenty of Doom streams. Check them out. Come on, brother. You know you be in all my stuff. Stop. He done with some foolery and effery. But that's my homie Cold Blood Sensei. I love him. But that's all I'm saying. And look, I play on Google Chrome Canary, which is like an unstable version of Google. So if anybody would have some latency issues, I would expect it to be me. And I don't have any. So we gotta separate the forest from the trees. Yeah, we don't want to play whack-a-mole at every negative comment. That's silly, that's stupid, and it's just untimely. With that being said, we cannot afford to expect everybody to sit on their hands while they're sitting there saying stuff like this to the masses, especially if it isn't true. And again, to me, I don't care if if they're saying negative stuff, if it's true. This is the same guy This is why I say y'all gotta keep the same energy. This is the same guy that when Division 2 was released and it wasn't working right, I lambasted them mugs for almost 2 hours. Did I not? Did I not? I lambasted them for 2 hours. This is the same guy that sat here with Darkin for 2 hours and lambasted Google from top to bottom. Did we not? Did we not? So with all that being said, this is not somebody that feels like I got to carry Google on my back. I am here for the unsuspecting gamer. This type of stuff burns me up because it's not an actual depiction. And for people on the fence, people that I'm personally talking to, they're saying to me, MM2K, this doesn't look good. You was working your magic. I was coming towards it. But guess what, man? It's hard to fight Digital Foundry. And you guys are probably feeling the same burn. It's hard to fight Digital Foundry. So now you're coming out here in mass and saying this is a good review. And everyone's entitled to their opinion. But at the same time, you ain't got to absorb mine. I ain't got to absorb yours. I'm going to be out here fighting. I'm going to be out here fighting so you guys can get Rage 2 on sale. I'm going to be out here fighting so you guys can see Ubisoft games go on sale. I'm going to be out here fighting so Google works better at their communication. I'm going to be out here fighting, you know what I'm saying, trying to get answers on why Doom all of a sudden, the 1800p, it seemed like it had to be parity with the Xbox. I'm going to be out here fighting, trying to figure out why Digital Foundry and a bunch of word salad says that it hits 1800p more than Xbox without saying it. Why couldn't they just clear out, say that? Why? Because he has an agenda. He's trying to tell you that he cannot justify you buying this thing on Stadia because it's not fun. FPSs on Stadia are not fun. It's hard to justify going with Stadia. Shut up, Cold Blood Sensei. Charleston, did you see my comment back in the chat? Out a call to action on Twitter. No, let me see. What happened? Something going on Twitter? Let me see here. What we got going here on Twitter? Any more questions though? Any more questions though? Let me see. Okay, Chase. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Charles, but if you could do me a huge favor, my friend, just drop a link to something in here and I'll check it out. Definitely. But yeah, man. That's basically it, guys. That's my point in all this. I just want to make it abundantly clear. I don't care that they're saying I don't care. Look, nothing against them guys, but I don't care about Digital Foundry. I care about powerful entities misleading the general or the unsuspecting consumer. That's what I care about. If it's Digital Foundry, Biblical Foundry, I could care less who it is. You're going to see me. Just like when Tom Warden was sitting there talking his garbage, we had to see it. That was our first block on Stadia Dosage from Tom Warden. When Paul Tassi was doing his garbage, guess what? Paul Tassi had to see us. Guess what happened as a result? Paul Tassi is more reluctant. Tom Warren is more reluctant now of calling out Google and making up false narratives. If you're calling out Google and it's the truth, baby, then so be it. But if it's a false narrative, you're going to see me. Yes, we did that. We did that by not shutting up. We did that by standing up. And again, if you want to continue to see this platform thrive and survive, You better stand up or you better allow us to stand up. And if you want to sit back in the trenches, go ahead and do that. Play the game, show people the games, woohoo, do all that stuff. But we understand, we're looking at stuff from 5,000 feet here. We know how it works. Charles says, DR don't realize how many shooters Stadia has. You mean Digital Foundry? It says 7 sent out a call. Oh, yeah. I did see that. You know what? I'm gonna do that. Where you show your Doom Eternal. But you know what? We've already sent it. But no, we can do that. I like that idea from 7. Definitely do that. Let them know that we exist, because you know what? I want to show y'all another tweet. I found this cute. I found this real cute and funny. Let me see if I can find it. My book now, it's in my. I found this real cute and funny, and I had to tweet this out last night because it just kills me how wrong they are about us. Let me see. All right, here it goes. First, they said Stadia was DOA. Almost 4 months later, they said it didn't work. Then they said it works, but it has no following. After today, now they say the following isn't a cult. How many times can one group of haters stand being so damn wrong? Y'all threw that in there at the end. But that's the truth. And I love you guys for it. I love you guys for standing up. And I get it. We're getting through some battle fatigue. And everybody ain't got to participate in this. I got you. And then if those of you, and again, what I'm not saying, guys, is I'm not saying if you have varying opinions, don't voice them. Definitely voice your varying opinions. But what I'm saying, guys, is that when we go to others and we say, look, let's all just be conveyor belt about this. And let's do it this way. No, hey, look. I say we got to fight some of these bigger notions. We can't play whack-a-mole with everything, but we got to fight some of these bigger notions. But if someone says to me, you know what, I don't feel like fighting. I just want to play games. I can dig it. I would never tell somebody, no, you better get your ass up. I would never do that. But what I'm saying, guys, is that there has to be a fighting element in this, because this is one of the most hated on entities that I've seen in gaming, if not the. We're now in the outrage culture, and this is serious. Again, Xbox is giving away games for $1, and they still can't shake the notion of what they did in 2013. This stuff sticks. And we got to be cognizant of that. So, no, I like Seven's idea, which is go to Digital Foundry and respond and say, I didn't experience that. It was hashtag something. I can't remember. Drop it in the chat, Charles. It was hashtag something. And you can just, or I didn't experience that. I sent them 3 or 4 versions. They don't care. There was a purpose to this. And big ups to Ashes. Ashes laid this out. They did this because they were mad at the fact that some of us went out to them and said, where is the Stadia analysis? And they did, like my homie Brian said, they did the Birdman meme. They said they was rubbing their hands. They said, oh, y'all want that Stadia analysis? Oh, we got it for you, see? and they gave us a raw deal to shut us up. And it's up to them. It's up to us if it works. Because what they did is, in order to shut us up, they frauded the unsuspecting gamer. Are we going to let them get away with that? You going to let them get away with that? I say not. I say we hit them where it hurts. Tell people don't support them. They're frauds. Bring up the whole Gears 5 thing over again. Let them relish in that. Y'all want to play with us? We can play too. And for those that don't want to participate, fine. If you think it's silly or fine or childish, fine. You rather just play and show the games, fine. Go and play and show your games. But those of us, we're going to keep fighting again to shut up Tom Warren, unless he got accurate information. Now Tom Warren is singing a different tune of The Verge. Why not play Stadia? It's great. Paul Tass, he done shut his damn mouth of Forbes. We're getting better. We got better deals. Rage 2 all of a sudden out of nowhere. Good deals during Christmas time. We got good deals now from Ubisoft after we called out some of the shoddy prices. And the list goes on and on and on. And we did that together. So the people that want us to shut up, they're benefiting from that. But I'm not going to tell them to shut up. I'm going to tell them, enjoy the games. Enjoy the perks. Enjoy the sales. Enjoy the less negative press. Enjoy it, enjoy it, enjoy it. Those same people that want us to shut up, they're enjoying the fruits of our labor. Ain't that a damn Skippy? I just made that up, and I know it sounds horrible, but ain't that a damn Skippy? The same people that want us to shut up are the same people that are enjoying the fruits of our labor. I find that's funny. Chase, if you're in there, Chase is probably getting a good chuckle huckle out of that too. I don't see them saying, no, Tom, come back and keep talking trash on Stadia. I don't see them going to Paul. No, Paul Tassi, keep using that fraudulent litmus of Destiny 2. I don't see them. No, I don't want to pay $20 for Rage 2. No, give it back to me for full price. I don't see them saying, no, you know what? That Ubisoft sale, no, don't do that. I don't see them saying none of that. But they want us to shut up. It's the way of the world, man. You know what? I'm going to end shop right now because I want to be part of that, Chase. Definitely. Thank you so much. I got to take care of some business. I'll definitely come back and be part of that. So definitely send me a link. So with that said, because the Godfather's calling, baby. With that said, it's your boy MM2K. I did this for an hour and a half. And I hope you guys appreciated what I had to say and y'all understand where I'm coming from. And no slight to people that have opinions like, Stadia, Arcadia, Wingy, my friends at Stadia Cast. Nobody. There's no slight to you guys. I'm just very passionate about this. And people that know me that are friends of mine know that I don't water things down. It doesn't mean that I love you guys any less. But sometimes we got to have them coming to Jesus moments. We got to have them. And I get where people may personally feel like it's not a big deal. But for those of us that are on the front lines that are fighting for this, we're going to keep fighting. That's how we roll. That's what makes this community diverse. I would never go tell Duncan, hey, Duncan, and I'm not saying this like Duncan has told us to shut up. No, Duncan is as cordial as you can get. He's a wonderful soul. He is a wonderful soul. And I hope and let me say this. Anybody, you're seeing great discourse out on Twitter. Anybody that's having a difference of opinion, whether you're on the MM2K train of thought about this, I don't want you giving none of those people problems because we're all Stadia people at the end of the day. I don't want you giving them no heartache. You know what I'm saying? If you got a difference of opinion to share, great. But Duncan has done more things behind the scenes than I can ever imagine to do, right? And so Duncan deserves that respect. You can respectfully disagree or whatever. So what I say this, I'm not saying this to Duncan, but I would, because Duncan would never want me to shut up. But I would never say to Duncan in return because Duncan would give me the same courtesy. Duncan, I would never say, Duncan, no, don't go to Reddit and share your beliefs in that. No, people need to see that this community is diverse, and I love that aspect of it. All I'm saying at the end of the day is that, look, guys, for those that really want us to pump the brakes, that just have that go beyond the difference in of opinion, that really want us to pump the brakes, we need you to look at the real big picture here. This may be positive to us, but it's bigger than us. We got to get these unsuspecting gamers over here. Like I tell my Xbox brethren, if what Phil was doing was so great, then y'all would have 100 million consoles sold with Sony. It's great for you all. Phil Spencer now has to transition and bringing those people back. And what I'm saying to my Stadia brethren is don't fall into that same loop trap that my Xbox brethren is falling into. It's even more bigger than us. We're a fraction of a fraction of a fraction. If we want to see success with this platform, yes, we got to see base rollout. We got to see some other things, but people are going to have to want this thing and trust it. People are not going to spend $60 if their belief system is, the practical results spell out problems that Stadia has with running first-person shooter. If that is the operators, the modus operandi, nobody is going to buy this thing, whether it's base, chase, mace, or dace. Okay? So we got to understand that. With that said, I want to thank everybody that came out here. The chat was bumping. You know what I'm saying? I love you guys. As always, we got a special guest. I can't say anything this Sunday. Stadia Stream Connect podcast will be this Sunday. We still iron out the details, but we got a very, very special guest coming. So you definitely enjoy that. And with that said, I want to thank everybody that came out here. Love you guys as always. Have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. And you'll see me at noon on Chase's channel if you'll still have me. Peace.